Fire wasn't comfort in the medieval world. It was survival. Miss one step in how you stored wood, and winter didn't just get uncomfortable, it got lethal. Today we talk about fireplaces and hearths like they were simple, but behind every steady medieval flame was a storage system so smart it kept entire households breathing through months of cold, damp, and darkness. If you enjoy uncovering survival knowledge history tried to bury, hit subscribe now so you don't miss the next forgotten code. Firewood was life or death. Medieval homes didn't fail because they lacked firewood. They failed because the wood was wrong. Wet logs smoked people out. Green wood refused to burn. Rotting fuel collapsed hearths with toxic fumes. Medieval families learned quickly that how you stored firewood mattered just as much as having it. The solution wasn't random piles by the door. It was a deliberate system refined over centuries of brutal winters. Raised storage changed everything. Firewood was never stored directly on the ground. That was a death sentence for the fuel. Medieval households elevated wood on stone bases, wooden slats, or thick branches laid crosswise. This allowed air to circulate underneath, drying the logs slowly while preventing rot. Elevation also kept insects and moisture away. The goal wasn't speed, it was reliability. Dry wood burned hotter, cleaner, and longer, reducing smoke buildup inside poorly ventilated homes. Walls that breathed. Firewood stacks were often placed against exterior walls, but never sealed tight. Small gaps were intentional. Airflow was the hidden weapon. Medieval builders understood that stagnant air trapped moisture. By stacking logs loosely, bark side down and cut ends facing outward, they created natural ventilation channels. Seasoned wood was planned years ahead. Medieval families didn't cut wood for the same winter. They cut it seasons in advance. Freshly cut logs were stacked separately from seasoned wood and left to dry for 1 to 3 years depending on thickness. This wasn't luxury planning, it was survival math. Seasoned wood produced more heat with less fuel, conserving precious forest resources and reducing the need to venture out in dangerous weather. Indoor wood was a calculated risk. Only small amounts of firewood were brought inside, usually a day or two's supply. Storing too much indoors invited pests, mold, and fire hazards. Logs were placed near the hearth to warm and dry further before burning. This preheating reduced steam and smoke when ignited. Medieval people didn't know the chemistry, but they sure knew the results. Cleaner fires meant warmer rooms and fewer respiratory problems. Covered but never sealed. Outdoor woodpiles were protected from rain using thatch, bark sheets, or wooden roofs, but sides were left open. Complete enclosure trapped moisture and ruined fuel. Snow was less dangerous than rain. Snow could be brushed off, but rain soaked deep. Medieval storage systems were designed to shed water while still breathing, balancing protection and airflow in a way modern storage often gets wrong. The hidden efficiency. This system wasn't about comfort, it was about endurance. Properly stored firewood burned longer, meaning fewer trips outside, less deforestation, and more consistent heat. In a time when hypothermia, smoke inhalation, and fire accidents were constant threats, this quiet system kept households functioning through months of darkness. Why it still matters? Modern prepping often ignores the basics medieval people mastered. Fuel storage, airflow, long-term planning. These weren't optional skills. They were survival codes written in wood, stone, and patience. And they worked. If this kind of forgotten knowledge matters to you, subscribe to History Survival Code and share this with someone who thinks survival starts with gadgets instead of wisdom. History already solved these problems. We're just remembering how.